Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to die. And when I say die, I mean die as in the colour dye. Of course, you knew that, I'm sure. This is something that I am able to craft now. I've got the basics of the industrial foregoing mod, which gives me plastic. And with plastic, I can make all sorts of wonderful machines, including one that actually allows me to create all 16 dyes from only 3, red, green and blue. And you may have noticed I'm standing on top of a big hole that is very slowly filling with lava. This is I've just used a create machine or contraption to dig this out, and the slow process of filling it with lava for an infinite lava source has begun. I've also done one with water, which is already full. The value of that, I'm not so sure, but I did it anyway, just because. This is what I've got at the moment, the old-fashioned dripstone farming method, but it is painfully slow. We've got there are some options, I think, with industrial foregoing. I think there is some potential laser lava mining options or fluid mining options to speed this up. This has been about 2 days. It's not even done one level. There's a long way to go. Cleared out a big stretch of land here. I've extended the boundary fence a little further away from the village, so got rid of all the trees, so you can see it's a nice big open space for future development. And yeah, I certainly have plenty of plans for that. It looks like the sun's going down already. The downside to having mountains over there in the west is that the sun goes down pretty early and it gets dark pretty quickly. So what do you think of this logo then? I absolutely love it. With a little bit of help from Dolly, or ChatGPT thingy. Oh, Theo's just joined. I've come up with this, and I've also put one over in everyone else's space just to say that Grain Rail is coming soon. I've been very busy, as you may remember from the last episode, making track. And we've got a fair amount of these wide gauge tracks, so we can start building some infrastructure. But that's not what this episode is about. We're going to be dying, as I said. And we'll be getting on with that right now. So behind the row of shops that I showed you in the last episode is where I'm going to build the dyeing factory. It's just I had to make a little joke on it to start things off. But it's going to be behind here, so this needs to be flattened. I need to clear out all of these stuff here. These features, I've even got a little bit of a Mekanism house in here that needs to go, but all of this needs to be flattened, lowered down a little bit, and I'm going to build this factory that's going to start just this side of that fence and go all the way to where those hay bales are and that horses, maybe a little further. So the question is, do I build the building or do I build the machinery inside the building first? I think I'll make my mind up during the clear out of this area. Quite a bit later, we have a courtyard. It's described as a very rough, very worn courtyard. I like it. It's got some features. Also got my intended colour palette for the dye farm all along here. And we are going to build it now. We have power from Mekanism. This is coming out of a heat generator surrounded by lava. They're the easiest and quickest early game power sources. I've made some framed drawers that I've coloured in wool, grey and white wool, which will blend in with the ground nicely, I hope. Frame blocks as well to give a slope, which allows us to actually see what's in here, because this will be like a buffer with all of the dyes that will go into here. And they will go into here from the dye mixer, which should, if I can place them without... Maybe look at that, that's better. I can place them all down. We now have, they're all powered up. So there should be a connection that I can't see from here. Yes, they're all connected. Excellent. So the idea is that they will output the dye. They need red, green and blue dye, so we'll need to build perhaps up there some little mini farms to produce those and then pipe them into the AE2 network, which is this big cable up here, which then comes down into here. I've got the display terminal at the moment, a crafting terminal at the moment in here. But first things first, let's get this linked together. I need to link this controller with these shelves. They're called drawers. Yeah, drawers. In here. So that's now linked. So anything that goes into here anything comes into here, sorry, will be able to be sucked up here. So if I can get rid of that, that will then, when I put a bus, appropriate storage bus or import bus, it will go, the outputs from these farms will go back into the network, the AE2 network over, that's where it's supposed to be anyway, but you can actually access it anywhere you want. These dye mixers, very simple. You choose which dye you want. This is the red one. Where is it? It's going to be the last one, isn't it? There we go. Red dye for that one there. And all you need to do, it's already powered, but we need to add 3 dyes in here. So we need to automate that happening. There'll be no manual part of this process. And so to do that, we're going to need to craft export buses for each one of these. So that's 16 export buses to get the original ingredients that we're going to farm over there into here. Next step is to place these export buses top here, and each one, this is a bit of a monotonous process, but each one we need to actually set the filters to only allow these 3 dyes. It will look at everything on there and it will actually allow this into, or export it from the network into the dye machine. It will start filling that up. So I'm going to go ahead and place all of these with the same filters and I'll be back in a jiffy. And with that last color set, we've now got everything primed and ready to go in terms of the dye mixers. We need to connect it to the main network. Hopefully I've got some cabling, which I do. It should be a simple matter of just hooking these up here. This is, as I said, this is the inputs for the dyes. There we go. It handily shows me how many channels are being used. 7 out of 8. I have a feeling we're going to be out of channels. Interesting. I may need to rethink. I will need to rethink this because this is maxed out. I'm going to have to do the cable anchor, which allows basically you to block connections of wires. Let's have this going over here. Okay. Device missing channel, device online. Got 1 device in the middle that's not connecting. How frustrating. I'll pop the import bus into here. So this will basically, anything that goes into these storage drawers will, let's just test this. 27, 26, 25. It's very slowly going in. I mean, the rates that the dyes are going to come in, it's not going to be that fast. But we should see them going back into the network. There we go, numbers going up there. So that works. That works fine. But we have 2 devices missing channels. I were to cut here, so if I was to connect this up, it would link this all up together. This device is missing a channel already. I'm not so sure this will work. That one is still missing a channel. Okay, well, I'm going to have to create a third connection here. Right, okay, that's better. So that's all hooked up now. All of these devices are online. This is all for the import, remember. Export's down there. That's all set up. It should be ready to go. All I need to do now is build a few simple farms to produce these 3 dyes. And here they are. This is the completed dye farm. This is the simple farms that I said. Got tulips, cactuses, and cacti, and cornflower, as they seem to have the best rates in terms of getting through these millstones. So I'm picking things up, but yeah, they'll come out sporadically. I could probably upgrade these hoppers, these botany pots, once I have Wither Star to actually produce a little faster. But for now, it's really doing the business. 200, I think, 100, 300, there's absolutely loads of dyes, so we'll never be wanting dyes again, and I'm pretty happy with that. So the factory is slowly rising up around the edge of this courtyard, trying to work the AE2 pipes into an old building, and modern pipes with modern cables in an old building is a challenge. By the next episode, I'll have this finished. It will be a splendid structure, and it'll also be a familiar structure. It is something that I've admired. It's not my design. I've got to be very, very explicit with that. It's not my design. Not my design at all. So, it's not Impulse's either. And I'm in homage to the end of Hermitcraft Season 9. I'm going to be building Kiralis's empty warehouse, which I'm guessing he just never found a use for. But for me, it's one of the most beautiful buildings on the whole Hermitcraft Season 9 download. So I think it will fit in nicely in my city. So this will be a little factory, big factory even, of various machines. So we've got a dye factory, which is taking up half of it. Need to think about what I can do the other side as well. There's certainly plenty of options for that. Just to try and explain the process, underneath the floor, the 3 dyes are going into these chests here, and these import buses are importing all the 3 different color dyes into the network, which of course is then being taken out by the dye mixers themselves over here. So this is the beauty of AE2, because you don't need to worry about inputs, outputs, and directional pipes. As long as you've got these cables, then it doesn't really matter about inputs and outputs. This is the key thing. So we've got stuff coming out of the network, exporting into here, and then producing this, and then eventually, when I'm going to do it now while I'm on camera. If I shift click, these should start to go down once it registers the device on the network. It's online. There we go. Numbers are going down. See the going down, going up. I'll add an upgrade speed to get that through. But yeah, all of these now will go into the network and be available on the terminal. All I need to do is search for dye. There we can see orange is going up, so it's clearing out orange. I'm certainly not short of green dye, but we'll eventually have all 16, and we can really experiment with our block palette and colors with concrete, plastic, with colored sand, sorry, colored concrete powder. And I'm not, can you dye sand? You probably can in this mod pack. But I think we'll call it a day now. It's a short one today. I've tried to get this in to try and keep the gap between my episodes to about 4 days ish. I hope you've enjoyed this a little experiment with industrial foregoing with a little bit of Mekanism and AE2 thrown in as well. A little bit of Corrales too. Thank you very much for watching. You take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.